started.
Okay, Giro Savonarola. Don't know. That may be a historical reference. Okay, d4. Let's play d5. We'll try the Chigorin if I can get it. Yeah, here we go. See what we get. I did have one of those not too long ago, but I'm still trying to figure out the best way to play it. So he's sort of not playing in the most active way, but just shoring up the d pawn. So now he can take and then bring his knight out. And if I but if he takes, I'll take back with the pawn, and that will free up my bishop. So I was wondering about that. So I think this is okay. Got an open line for my bishop. And I will do the typical pinning maneuver you do with the Chigorin. And I can even pin this guy too. But it looks like he's setting up for kingside castling, so maybe I should go here. And castle kingside myself, but be prepared for action on the kingside. Yeah, this quick castling will get a rook to the e file. Now is the moment where I have to decide, do I want to take the knight? And it doesn't even inflict any pawn damage. If I drop back to f5, he can chase the bishop with the knight here. Or I could drop back this way, maintain the pin for a moment. It's not really a pin, but if the knight moves, I'll trade off his light squared bishop, which is a good bishop in this structure. So he's advancing on the queen side. I'm going to put a rook on the e file and play for knight to e4. Let's see. This pawn is weak, so I do have to worry about that. Let's bring this knight over here. I may want to trade after all. We'll see if I can't convince him to move his knight. Well, I could play c6. So he's just going after this bishop. In that case, let's encourage him to take that bishop. And then I'll keep this one. I'll drop this bishop back to g3. Oh, you know, he might get the absolute bishop pair. He might get both bishops. But he does have this rigid pawn structure now. And I don't yet have a weakness on c6 because I can play the move c6. I mean, the backward c-pawn is not yet a weakness. It might become one. Let's see, but if he advances, I will take. He takes, then I'll just leave it there. I'll take, and he can't take back, actually, because his rook is pinned. Okay, so knight to e4 is definitely in the cards. And then figure out where the other knight goes. I have a bit of a collision of pieces. Maybe I want to play h6. The bishop can go to g6 and h7. Oh, that's nice. Putting the queen on the same line as the bishop on the same line as my queen. So let's drop back. So he is going to rule the dark squares. I have to be aware of that. With his extra bishop. Oh, and is this a problem? It's annoying. But maybe it's not a problem. The bishop is insufficiently defended. Ah, okay. So I've blown it. I have blown it here. Unless there's some way to get compensation. So pawn here, the queen is just going to go to h6 rather. Knight here. I can chase the queen away. Maybe try and make some sense of my pieces. Yeah, so that knight e5 was a good tactic. It hit my queen and it exposed the attack on my bishop. And Actually, if we back up and look at that just for a second, he's attacking my queen, but I could have taken and attacked his queen. I didn't stop to think about that.
Server announcement.
I should have thought about that better. Okay, so he just dropped back with his queen. Let's kick the knight. The knight's not going anywhere useful, right? Yeah, so I have to defend the f6 pawn. See, if I kick the knight again, there. He can still escape to h2. Okay, so he's preparing to push a pawn and open up here on the queen side. Very logical play. So is there any way to get something going here? I really want to push these pawns on the queen side to open up some lines, but that's probably the wrong thing to do in this case, since it just benefits him. His pieces are poised to take advantage of it. But otherwise, yeah, I don't have a good way of undermining the center here. I have knight to h4 here, kicking his queen again. Maybe that's interesting. Oh, he shifted his bishop. That's funny. And what does that do? Puts more pressure on this guy. No, it doesn't. His bishop is blocked. Maybe he's planning to play maybe he's planning to play e4 here. So I could go knight d6 to e5. Clamping down on his e4 push. Okay, now he takes, okay. Maybe that's why he moved the bishop out of the way. He didn't want it exposed, so he wanted to be able to take back with the pawn. I am going to be able to invade with my rook. Knight e5 and rook a2. Actually, knight to d2 is threatened, forking the queen and the rook. If I could pick up an exchange, I would actually be in okay shape here, perhaps. Maybe it might be playable anyway. I don't know if I would go so far as to say it's okay. Okay, well, let's go ahead and pin this guy. Pawn to h5 kicks the knight back to h2. Rook to b8 puts more pressure on the bishop now, since he opened up the b file for me. He can play rook to b1. And of course the b file is good for white as well. So he defends that way. So now he's preparing to move the bishop and exchange off my rook. So there's some trick here. Some tactical trick. That's all I have left in bags of tricks. Let's think. Let's kick the knight back. If his knight is out of play, it's not like I'm outnumbered. I have as many pieces that are active as he does. If we count this, so I just need to see if I can put my pieces to good use. So where would the knight like to be? Probably in this square. He's just has got everything pretty well defended though, doesn't he? Okay, well, I'll put the rook on the b file, I guess. And I don't know where the bishop can move to. If it goes here, there is a potential trade. Oh, okay, so he's doubling up on the c pawn. That makes sense. Indeed. So we can defend that for the moment. Yeah, so he's going to get his knight back in the game. Can I take advantage of this momentary situation here? Knight here, I guess bishop takes is sufficient here. Rook takes. Or knight takes here. Queen or king takes here. Pawn takes. Or knight takes. Yeah, this is tough. Also, my pieces are tied down defending this c6 weakness. The queen and the rook are tied up here. So that's interesting. That kicks my knight, but it creates a weakness. Can I? Is there a way to take advantage of this, though? If I just go to g3 immediately, he'll trade it off. So maybe knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. I've got an open file over here against his king. And maybe I can grab the third rank here. Give up the c-pawn and get active with my my rook. This knight's over here defending things. That's going to be tough. Yeah, so he just exposes this attack to my rook. And where do I want to go? And back here. I want to line up on the E file, I guess. Ah, he's hitting my pawn. That's true. So, do I have to do something radical now? Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes actually defends the pawn. But then he can bring his queen over to chase me away. Takes, takes, pawn. I don't know. All right, bring the rook over. Just defend with the rook for now. There's no breaking through on e3 because his knight and his queen are pretty securely defending it. Well, let's see what he's coming up with here. Okay. It's just making sure my pawn stays backwards. So he's a little weaker on the second rank now. But I don't have a way to support the rook here, do I? If I were to double the rooks, bishop takes, rook here hitting the queen. That might be an idea. Yeah, so he takes. So he can bring a rook back. That's the problem. Okay, so let's go ahead with the sacrifice. See how he reacts. The bishop is going to be loose here now. So after pawn takes, king takes, he's going to have to lose a move, rearranging the bishop, and then maybe I can get a rook on the second rank. But his problem is his rook can always drop back. His rook can always drop back to defend the second rank. Yeah, he's got a pretty good setup here. It's just going to be hard to break down. And the knight's covering key squares here. So he should just play queen h2 that defends the bishop and forces my queen away, right? And pawn is covering. Okay, but he moved the bishop. That's protected by the knight. So my idea was rook b2, but he just plays rook c2. Do I have any other way to? Oh, I can line up. I can line up on the open H file. Yeah, the open H file against his king here. Yeah, he comes over with the queen. That's a good idea. Now, if I bring the rook in, he just takes my queen. I take, and nothing is going on there. So yeah, so the queen probably needs to drop back. We'll see what he does here. He just takes the pawn. So if I go here with the rook and the queen takes, I can get one check in here. King goes to that square, but there's no follow through, is there? And he can start checking me here. Yes, it's looking bad. Yeah, I don't see that this is playable, really. I just want to get my king out from these checks here. But
check.
Because otherwise my king was getting chased this way, and I didn't want to end up on this g5 square where there's a discovered attack from his queen. And notice these pawns are still defended. The knight's defending e3 and the queen's defending f3. Yeah, just hard to find a way to break through here. Okay, but he still has to win the game, so pushes a pawn forward. Now that is interesting. Because now there's some open lines to his king. Let's see, but I guess this doesn't work. The problem is the knight is still guarding these key squares like e3. I have to make sure my king doesn't land on a dark square where the bishop can move with a discovered check.
Check.
So I have to go back to a light square. Yeah, this is unfortunate. He's going to force me back and force a trade of another piece.
Check.
Yep, I can't come forward. The queen's not guarding that square. The queen is guarding this square, however, coincidentally. So that check would not be the right idea. Just goes with the pawn. So maybe, no, it doesn't threaten anything. I was going to say rook h3 threatening to take the bishop. but it does not actually threaten that. I'm going to push one of these pawns forward. Oh, now he can check. Ah, because I blocked the queen. But he just goes there, which is probably good. This is going to queen with check, and I can't stop it. So I'm going to resign here. But anyway, I'll upload
Black
this
resigns.
and do a post-mortem. See you guys later. Bye.